Now we come to, I think, an important but also fun part of the day. So welcome to our awards for excellence in broadcasting, and it's really for content that was broadcast in the year 2024. And it's always one of the highlights of our spring conference. Fortunately, I have to do virtually nothing, so it is now my great pleasure to welcome broadcaster Jon Culshaw to present the awards. Jon was a winner last year with the Dead Ringers team, and he'll be ably assisted by another VLV Patron and, of course, former director of BBC Radio, Helen Boaden. So over to Helen and Jon.
Thank you very much indeed, Colin. Thank you very much indeed for that wonderful welcome. Delighted to be here back at the Theological Society. It's so beautiful. This is the compulsory way that we have to start, I want to say. It's been a beautiful 100 days, my first 100 days. I want to thank all my advisors, including Mary Poppins, very smart lady, very smart lady. Super tariff protectionistic China, you're atrocious. Quite enough of that. Thank you so much. I'm going to have a beautiful state visit to your wonderful country. I'm going to visit everywhere. Stratford-upon-Avon, historic birthplace of William Shatner. It's a great delight to be here because those of us lucky enough to have won awards in the past know that they are really, really special. Chosen by people who, whilst maybe not professionally employed in the media, have shown by their membership and support of VLV their commitment to quality in broadcasting. They really care about programmes. These awards are based on the nominations from VLV members. Their critical enthusiasm and breadth of interest is demonstrated by the sheer number of individual programmes proposed this year. 132 in the television categories and 138 in audio. And there were 94 nominations for individual contributors.
I think it's showing because of that.
I think we've got an interloper. Is it the Russians?
Yes, we're getting a communication now. We're just checking I've turned it to David Dimbleby.
You have, but you've done it very deftly. So these are the VLV's 33rd annual awards. And in our very complicated media landscape, where even the word broadcast sounds very old-fashioned in the world of catch-up, podcasts and streaming, what still matters, I know you know, is quality, content, fact and breadth. And that's what the VLV Awards have always been about. I know from my own experience that people take the VLV Awards very seriously and are very honoured when they get them. So I'm particularly honoured this time to be Jon's sidekick, as it says here, in the presentation. Your assistant. I feel I'm, Boaden to Whiteley.
I am your sidekick.
Well, I feel not. But there's a little bit of housekeeping which really matters to keep the whole thing going, which is I will list the nominations, Jon will announce the winners, and then if you can just hold back your rapturous applause till Jon has named those coming to collect their awards, and then it's the moment to clap. Otherwise, we get clapping conflict, and it's very complicated. So we're going to start with the television awards, nominated and voted for by VLV members. The first award is for the Best Television Drama Programme. The nominations were Blue Lights, BBC One, Ludwig, BBC One, Mr. Bates versus the Post Office, ITV, Show Trial, BBC One, Strike, BBC One, Wolf Hall, The Mirror and the Light, BBC One.
And the winning drama truly lit a touch paper under an ongoing saga which has fascinated and horrified us all, and has still not been resolved to recompense all of those involved. How slowly the powers of government and the law move, and how brave individuals can make history. It is, of course, Mr. Bates versus the Post Office, here to collect the award on behalf of ITV, Little Gem and ITV Studios. Our executive producers, Patrick Spence and Joe Williams. Give them a welcome, please. Thank you.
So turn to the camera. And if you want to say a brief something, you're very welcome, but it's not compulsory.
Okay, very, very quickly, we're going to say, we couldn't have told this story
without the work of several journalists over several years who brought it out into the open, and The Guardian, the Private Eye, Computer Weekly and The Times. So I think it's worth saying we were simply hanging by their coattails. And the other thing we want to say is that it's lovely being part of a show that in some way changed the law, but I think it's worth saying it wasn't the TV show that changed the law, it was the people who got angry at this show and this true story and banded together to demand action from the government. And isn't that wonderful that telly can still work that way, that we can unite a nation against bullies, liars and cheats, and may it happen many times. Thank you very much.
So next up is the Best Television News and Factual Programme, and the nominations were Asia, BBC One, Channel 4 News, Channel 4, Digging for Britain, BBC Two, Michael Palin in Nigeria, Channel 5, The Real CSI, BBC Two, The Zelensky Story, BBC Two.
The Zelensky story combines actuality with archive material that makes up the story of Volodymyr Zelensky, the comedian who became president and then war leader of Ukraine, a man still very much a central figure on the global stage. The winner is The Zelensky Story. Here collecting the award on behalf of BBC Two, 72 Films and the Open University are Jonathan Smith, executive producer, Louis Lee Ray and Michael Waldman, directors, and producer Jessica Powell.
Just to say, as a series director, I had the privilege of working with these wonderful people and with the Ukrainian president. It wasn't quite like that. It was a complicated arrangement. It was a history commission. We didn't have access to Zelensky when we started. But by the end, going to Kyiv and interviewing his wife and Zelensky himself was an extraordinary experience. And it was, although a history commission, obviously the history continues, as it does in some of the drama we've just been hearing about. And the show was transmitted before the well-imitated president had his recent encounter. And it's interesting to know, or to see, what happens to that story as it continues. But for the meantime, in knowing the public service ethos of VLV, we are delighted to accept and receive this award. Thank you.
The next award is for Best Television Arts and Entertainment Programme, and the nominations were Fake or Fortune, BBC One, Have I Got News for You, BBC One, Portrait of the Year, Sky Arts, Renaissance, The Blood and the Beauty, BBC Two, University Challenge, BBC Two, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, BBC One.
And the winner was our Christmas treat, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, from BBC One. Gromit's concern that Wallace is becoming too dependent on his inventions proves justified when Wallace invents a smart gnome that seems to develop a mind of its own. When it emerges that a vengeful figure from the past might be masterminding things, it falls to Gromit to battle sinister forces and save his master, or Wallace may never be able to invent again. All sounds scarily familiar. Who knows what lies in store? Here to collect the award on behalf of BBC One and Aardman Animations are Mark Burton, writer, Anne King, puppet lead, and Mike Appleby, senior set maker.
I'd just say it's such a great pleasure to receive this award. Aardman Animations are we are really one of those companies who really want to keep things real for viewers and listeners. And I think that Vengeance Most Foul was such a heartfelt project for all of us. We really enjoyed working on it, and making the puppets, going back to Wallace and Gromit, making them all again was such a pleasure for me personally, and and it's just been a really lovely project to work on, and the success has been really immeasurable. So
well deserved.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, and I hope you all enjoyed it.
We did. The next two awards are slightly different in that they're traditionally chosen by the trustees of VLV. The first is the VLV Naomi Sargent Award, which commemorates the distinguished broadcaster and good friend of VLV, Naomi Sargent, who was Channel 4's first Commissioner of Education. In the last year, there have been several outstanding series featuring the leading-edge work of surgeons, which fitted the criteria for the Naomi Sargent Award. So the trustees decided that the fairest approach was to give them both the award.
So the first of these awards is given to Channel 5's Surgeons, a matter of life or death. Cameras follow life-saving operations at the University Hospitals Birmingham, telling extraordinary stories of surgical skill. And here to collect this first award on behalf of Channel 5 and Brinkworth Productions are Guy Davis, Channel 5, Malcolm Brinkworth, Executive Producer, and other members of the production team. Give them a welcome.
Thank you very much indeed. I think it's always humbling, to be honest, when you receive an award for a surgery programme, because actually it's not us that should be being celebrated, it's actually the surgeons and the patients who actually put their trust in you to actually watch what they go through and actually come out the other side. And I think for all of us who work on the programmes, I'm sorry, two of our producers are actually filming a brain operation right now in Birmingham. But this is for our patients, this is for our surgeons, and thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you.
And the second award goes to Channel 4's Super Surgeons, A Chance at Life. This groundbreaking series tells the stories of remarkable life-saving operations at one of Britain's biggest hospitals, the Royal Marsden Hospital, as they attempt pioneering treatments to help patients with cancers that other doctors cannot treat. And we are delighted that one of the featured surgeons, Mr. Asif Chowdhury, is here today to accept the award. Welcome, please.
Thank you so much. I'm very delighted to receive this award today. And as the person who came up before me just said, that to receive an award like this is deeply humbling. As a surgeon, my job is to care for, support and tessellate with the needs of patients. And it's those patients who are the real winners today. The patients, their families, and the complexities of the change in their lives and the tribulations that they have to face and the resilience with which they face those troubles. I think the show produced by Wonderwood Studios really showcased that in a very beautiful way to help so many people out there who are going through similar problems and to show what can be achieved for them by caring individuals who are parts of the teams of the Royal Marsden, where we all work together to support individuals and the families. Thank you very much.
The next award, chosen by VLV's trustees, affirms VLV's long-standing support for an area described as the canary in the mine for public service broadcasting. It is the best children's television programme.
And this year's award goes to Tweedy and Fluff, the delightful stop-frame animation series shown on Channel 5's Milkshake for preschool children. Tweedy is a little toy made from tweed cloth, living alone in a weaver's cottage, until the arrival of Fluff, a four-legged ball of woolly fuzz who becomes his beloved pet. Here to collect the award on behalf of Second Home Studios and Stitchy Feet Limited for Channel 5's Milkshake are Corinne Avaris, creator, Chris Randall and Kyle Jenkins, Milkshake executives.
Everyone's been going from memory. I've got no faith in it. So on behalf of our team, thank you so much to VLV for recognising the public service values at the heart of Tweedy and Fluff. Thank you especially to the Young Audience Content Fund. Thanks to them, this is a series that's made from the heart and not from the international boardroom, reflecting UK heritage and culture, sensitively developed with a deep love and respect for children. Observational storytelling, visual humour and a gentle pace allows preschoolers to truly comprehend Tweedy and Fluff's relationship. Crucially, there's space for them to be curious and discover how kindness, empathy and patience positively affect all our relationships. In this digital, fast-paced world, Tweedy and Fluff answers a powerful need for tenderness, calm and handmade imperfection. Importantly, it also offers something that is becoming increasingly rare, a shared viewing experience. Because when you speak to the heart, you speak to all ages, and parents and grandparents are not leaving the room. Thank you for the ongoing support from Milkshake, our broadcast partners, and thank you, VLV, for this special recognition. Thank you.
So before we move on with this year's awards for audio, Jon would like to say something about someone very special.
Yes, thank you, Helen. We just wanted to take a moment to remember and give our tribute to the most prolific, legendary comedy producer, programme maker, author, songwriter, playwright, our wisest comedy alchemist, and dear, dear friend, the great Bill Dare. Such a resonant name that we heard so frequently in the credits of our favourite shows. It was at the beginning of March that we got the tragic news that Bill, whilst on holiday overseas with his dear wife Lucy, had been involved in a very serious car accident, and as a result, a couple of days later, he lost his life. It's something we're still trying to make sense of. The complete, surreal sense of shock and disbelief is something that I don't think will ever leave us. We shall also carry that with us. But we must take as much comfort as we can and a huge amount of inspiration from the astonishing legacy that Bill gives us. Bill was the mind behind an incredible number of iconic shows, either as creator or producer. It's an astonishing roll call from the Mary Whitehouse Experience to Spitting Image to the late edition I've Never Seen Star Wars, Brian Gulliver's Travels, to The Secret World, to the Now Show, and the programme in its 25th anniversary this year, Dead Ringers. And his most recent work was The Island, narrated by Stephen Mangan, set on the island where all the desert island discs castaways go with their luxury items. Beautifully imagined. Bill was a real master of the judgment that it takes to make a show and the comedy within it work beautifully. The finest script editor that ever there was, a unique and a brilliant instinct, and a way of creating shows with an attitude and a take on things all of their own, a sort of a subliminal surrounding beyond the jokes, the sketches and everything like that. Bill was so deft at creating these programmes bigger than the sum of their parts. This was the way his talent infused so often into the programmes that he made. He was also a great champion of new writers as well. Bill loved to nurture and encourage new writing talent, either through his course at the National Television and Film School or giving new writers a chance on the many shows that he made, many of which have gone on to win Emmys. Simon Blackwell, Tony Roach, for example. And they would always speak about the time that they had spent in their careers with Bill Dare and the positive impact it had given them. Bill was always very succinct and clear with his feedback on sketches. Sometimes, he would say too long, get to the gag quicker, too obvious. But now and again, the feedback that Bill would give at the bottom of the page would say, nice. Or sometimes, very nice. And writers really appreciated that. That coming from Bill Dare, that was practically a love letter. It was really appreciated. So the next series of Dead Ringers that we're set to record across June and July, it's going to be our first without Bill. It's going to seem mighty strange, but we shall be keeping his influence very, very close to us. We will sense that attitude, how he would want us to shape it and make the show. And I'll never forget a moment in the Yorkshire Grey pub after a recording one Thursday evening when a lady ran up to Bill. She gave him this huge hug, and she said, "It's you. You're Bill Dare. You are Bill Dare. Oh, Bill, thank you for your sketches. Thank you for your comedy in this ridiculous world. It really keeps us sane. So thank you." And that goes from us as well. Thank you to the VLV for allowing us to take a moment and remember and give a tribute to Bill today. Bill Dare. We almost have to say it like that. Thank you very much indeed. Much appreciated.
So very aptly, we go to the first Audio Awards, which is for the Best Audio Comedy Programme. And the nominations were It's a Fair Cop, Radio 4, Just a Minute, Radio 4, Strangers on a Train, Radio 4, The News Quiz, Radio 4, The Now Show, Radio 4, The Skewer, Radio 4.
And the winner is... It's The Now Show, created by Bill Dare, the show where Steve Punt and Hugh Dennis present the week with a mix of topical stand-up and sketches. And here to receive the award with them are Richard Morris, Creative Director, Julia Mackenzie, Radio 4 Commissioning, Sasha Bobak, Producer, and Caroline Barlow, Production Coordinator. Give them all a
Oh, hello. Yeah. You're not keeping it.
It's on eBay.
Who wants to say a few words?
Thank you very much.
Say a few words.
Yeah, we'll save it. Clearly, although we quite clearly knew that we were going to come up and collect this award, we wouldn't have been asked here today. We haven't actually prepared anything, and we've no idea who's saying what, which in fact makes it feel very like a recording of The Now Show. But it's a very big thank you to Bill Dare, of course, and, you know, The Now Show is a sort of enormous production, and we owe such a debt to all the producers and all the writers and everybody who has been involved in it. It's been on for forever. In terms of this building, I think you have to put it in these terms. The Now Show started in the late Triassic. And the irony, of course, is that it is now... we're collecting an award for a show which is no longer on. But I personally, 26 years is a very, very good run, and thank you to the BBC.
Not long enough, some of us.
No, well, but I personally think it's slight payback to me, anyway, because in 1992, Steve and I won an award for the Writers' Guild Best Young Writers of the Year. And we won it for a sketch that I hadn't written. So there you go. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
The next award is the Best Audio Drama Programme of the Year. The final nominations were Death at the Fenice, Radio 4, Love and Information, Radio 3, Our Man in Havana, Radio 4, Sherlock & Co, Goalhanger, Southall Rising, Radio 4, The Archers, Radio 4.
And the winner is Radio 4's Our Man in Havana. Miles Jupp and Rory Kinnear star in Graham Greene's satirical comedy. Hapless vacuum cleaner salesman Wormold is recruited by MI6 during the Cold War. Our man in Havana sees Graham Greene at his satirical best, taking potshots at Britain's self-delusion about its standing in the world. And here to accept the award are Jeremy Front, dramatist, Miles Jupp and Kitty O'Sullivan, actors, and Tracy Neal, producer. Give them all a welcome.
Thanks very much. Miles, sadly, oh, good.
Sorry,
Yeah. Miles isn't invisible. He's
Isn't he?
very, very sorry he wasn't able to. He had a diary clash, but he's very, very grateful for this. We saw him for a cup of tea earlier, and he was really, really chuffed. Thank you so much. Thanks to Graham Greene for writing an absurd novel about a world where mad things could... I mean, it's ridiculous. These things couldn't possibly happen. Thank you to the VLV. It's always incredibly moving to be nominated and to win one of these awards. And thanks to Tracy for directing it. Like you, I also had a Writers' Guild. The first award I was ever nominated for was a Writers' Guild award. And the night I was at the do, Tracy couldn't be there because she was in a Labour ward. So it's very nice to be here. At least she produced a child that night. So again, thank you very much indeed. Kitty, of course. Kitty is our star. Yeah, so thanks so much very much. We're really grateful.
So the next award is the Best Audio News and Factual Programme, and the nominations were from our own correspondent, Radio 4, Great Lives, Radio 4, Just One Thing, Radio 4, The Briefing Room, Radio 4, Today, Radio 4, When It Hits the Fan, Radio 4.
And the winner is from our own correspondent on Radio 4. Bit more to go yet, whose insight, wit and analysis from BBC correspondents, journalists and writers from around the world brings us the stories behind the news. Here to collect their award are presenter Kate Adie, Richard Fenton-Smith, editor, Serena Tarling, series producer, Polly Hope, producer, and Radio 4 Commissioner Hugh Levinson.
Can I say you've made an old programme very happy? And yes, it is old. It's been going since the 1950s, 70 now. From where I'm coming from, it's therefore positively a youngster. And it has changed, of course. When it first started, it gave people who hadn't travelled much, who heard foreign stories, and who needed to be shown over radio what the details were, the people, the things going on, current affairs, the scene generally. Now, things have changed. Then there were correspondents who lived there, visited, knew their stuff. That has not changed. But we live in a world where most of the listeners have travelled, know a bit, are much more informed via the rest of the news and current affairs services about what goes on. But we still offer the correspondents who know the ground, who've listened to the locals, who've got that extra bit of information and enlightenment. It has also been said that as well as doing that, we do the odd things that people do in foreign lands. But therefore, today, I think it's a programme to be listened to if you want to be aware of how your world is. And you will hear it from experts, and they will be telling you the background, putting the flesh on the bones of a lot of the other news outfits. They can take their time, they can make decisions, they can give you the fuller story. And yes, do not worry, we still do the odd and weird things that foreigners do. Thank you.
And the next award is for the Best Audio, Music and Arts Programme. And the nominations were Add to Playlist, Radio 4, Desert Island Discs, Radio 4, Front Row, Radio 4, Private Passions, Radio 3, The Essay, Radio 3, the Paul Gambaccini Collection, Radio 2.
And the winner is Desert Island Discs, that extraordinary, much-loved programme invented by Roy Plumley, which has aired on the BBC since the 29th of January 1942. And here to accept their award are the production team Mugabe Tria, Sarah Taylor, Paula McGinley and Christine Polowski, with presenter, actually Lauren Laverne can't join us today, but the team are here. Please give them a huge welcome.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Voice for the Listener and Viewer Award, for this. It is a complete honour, and we're most grateful. Lauren sends her apologies that she can't make it today, but she is absolutely delighted to. Yes, as you said, the programme is 83 years old in January, so slightly older. And correspondent, and it is testament to Roy Plumley's winning format that we're still here, casting people away to the island with their 8 discs for company, with their choice of book and luxury. We know that we have the best jobs on Radio 4 and the best listeners. Thank you. I'd also like to include Susie Roylance, who's our wonderful sound and production coordinator, who makes sure that we can actually keep the music in for the podcast. And it's not just about telling the stories of people like Cher and Steven Spielberg, but it's also important that we shine a light on the unsung heroes who contribute to society too, the doctors, scientists, creatives, and other humanitarians. And if we've learned anything at all from working on this programme, it's this. Tell your friends you love them, or thank that special teacher whilst they're still alive. Don't wait till it's too late. Thanks once again for acknowledging us with this special award. It means a great deal. And thank you for listening. We've got a great series coming up soon. Okay, thank you.
The next award nominated and voted for by VLV members is the Best Individual Contribution to Audio, and the nominations were Lise Doucette, James O'Brien, Paddy O'Connell, Sean Rafferty, Nick Robinson, Peter White, a phenomenal range, it has to be said.
Absolutely. And the winner is Lise Doucette, Canadian journalist. Yes, thank you. Canadian journalist Lise.
Yes. Well done for getting here. Do you want to say the wonderful things about Lise Doucette before that she's?
Well, yes. Well,
she's kind of cobbled.
Yes. So we'll do the.
Thank you.
Yes, well, Lise is the BBC's chief international correspondent and senior presenter, presenting on the BBC World Service Radio and BBC World News Television, as well as reports from BBC Radio 4 and BBC News in the United Kingdom. We are so delighted that Lise has arrived literally back just a couple of hours ago from Canada after reporting on Monday's elections. And here to collect the award today and to
say a few words.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's such a lovely sunny day out there and everyone is inside here. But I think it's really an important shared moment. It's not just Tweedy and fluff. that need to have a shared story. And I want to begin by thanking the voice of the listener and viewer. As a broadcaster, I've never liked that expression, giving voice to the voiceless, because we all have a voice. And in a democratic society, we should use our voice. And I think most of all, for those of us who work for a public broadcaster, in other words, your broadcaster, the listener has to have a voice, because we're doing it for you, because it's yours. And for me as a broadcaster, it's such a treat when you can see the listeners in front of you, because in the kind of job that I do, I'm often standing on a hilltop or a rooftop in the dark, looking out there and thinking, I wonder who's listening. And believe me, there are times when I say to myself, I hope nobody's listening, which of course is not statistically possible. Ever since I heard, I kept thinking, what are people listening to? Why did people vote for me? And I'm thinking, did they want the stories of war? Did they want the stories of attacks on our democratic values? What is it they wanted? What is it that they like to hear? And I just want to say as a broadcaster that even though I'm on one side of the microphone and you're on the other, that I too have been turning away from news and listening to Radio 3 instead of Radio 4, because the news is difficult. And we all think, oh, it's so depressing, it's so gloomy. And I just came back from Canada, which I hope is a good story, whether it's Canada or for all of those who have the gift of living in democratic societies. If we can stand for the values that we believe in, it's an important part of who we are as citizens, and I would like to believe that the BBC is also part of that as a public broadcaster. It's the proverbial water cooler that we can all meet together and share our stories, and we can criticize as well. We welcome the criticism, but I think it's really, really in the time when we feel that so much is slipping, literally the ground beneath us is shaking, that we all need to stand together for what we believe, what we believe in, and what we hold dear. Thank you very much.
Lise literally got off the plane at Heathrow Airport and came straight here. So we are very grateful, darling. Thank you very much. The final award, again nominated and voted for by VLV members, is for the Best Individual Contributor to Television. And the nominations were Fiona Bruce, Rita Chakravarti, Anna Foster, Matt Fry, Kathy Newman and Amal Rajan.
And the winner is Fiona Bruce.
We've lost it. I didn't skip that, yeah. It just makes no sense.
Thank you. Are you going to stand, please? Thank you very much. Gosh, thank you so much. I'm thrilled and honoured to get this award. You don't know the company that you're in with your fellow nominees until you hear it. And I have to say, I'm kind of blown away by the competition. I just want to pay tribute to Lise Doucette, who is an absolute heroine of mine, as well as one of the loveliest people you could ever hope to meet. And you don't always get to necessarily see what a kind of fabulous person she is, but I think you heard it just now. I feel incredibly honoured that the BBC trusts me with some of their brands, you know, from news to Antiques Roadshow, one extreme to another, and then Question Time and Fake or Fortune, an arts programme that I've been doing for a few years now. And I just want to echo a little bit of what Lise says, because certainly, even though I do the Roadshow and Fake or Fortune, journalism is where my heart lies. That's where I started on Panorama, and that's the thing that's most important to me. And the high-wire act that is Question Time every week, which is can be a lightning rod for criticism of the BBC and accusations of bias and all sorts of things. I feel more than ever that programmes like that are incredibly important. It takes people out of their echo chambers in their sitting rooms. You know, it's so easy to fall into. And it gives people opinions and views that they may not share, but hopefully in a way that they can at least hear some of it. And that's certainly what we try and do every week. And I think every week that gets more and more important, actually. So thank you so much. I'm just really thrilled to get this. Question Time is not on this week, which is why I'm able to be here. Because normally I'm prepping for it, and then, you know, anyway, it's Hull next week. It's all glamour. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm really grateful.
And that is our final award for this year. Congratulations to all of the winners and their production teams. And it's good to know that VLV members will be watching with critical and appreciative eyes over the coming year, ready to nominate programmes and individuals ready for next year's awards, whichever bits of new technology you may be watching or listening to them on. Thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful onward trip. Thank you very much. Thank you.